This may look like a pile of old stones, but there's more to it than that, and we'll talk about that more a bit later. What we're going to talk about today is holidays in retirement, and how, I don't know if you're like me, but I've got people that are in my life that work still, and they seem to think that I'm on holiday 365 days while they're working. Now, the truth is, they don't work 365 days a year, and they don't work 24 hours a day. So the maths doesn't really work out. But if you take into account the average person works over 40 hours a week, they don't work 52 weeks a year, they get some holidays and all the rest of it. And I've done all the maths, and I gain about 5.5 hours a day, per day, on average. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm not moaning about 5.5 hours extra for me time is absolutely fantastic. And there are advantages to being retired when it comes to holiday. The first one, I think the biggest one, particularly if you and your partner are working, is having to try to go into work and book your holiday, speaking to the HR department or your manager, whoever organises the holidays, or looking at the holiday rosters, coming back possibly with a couple of options for 2 weeks holiday, then going back to your partner and saying, right, well, did you do the same? And yes, and okay, well, those 2 weeks would work, and then you both go off to work the next day to book the holidays, and they'd already been taken up, and they were all a bit of a pain, to be honest with you. There is another advantage, that we now can go on holiday when the children are not on holiday. And holiday companies, they've all cottoned on to this, haven't they? You know, at the end of the day, it is infinitely more expensive to go on holiday during the school holidays. You know, the school holidays, prices of holidays abroad just go shooting through the roof. Go a week later, and in some cases can be half the price. So we've got that advantage, that's for sure. There are so many advantages to being quiet. I mean, when you have children, I suppose, well, I'm guessing it's illegal to lock them up in a cupboard while you go away for 2 weeks because the holiday's cheaper, and possibly it is illegal, I'm guessing, and probably morally not correct either. And the truth is, whilst we sometimes want to strangle our kids, we also want to cuddle them. So, you know, why would you want to go on holiday without your children? It's a price we pay. And now that we're retired, we don't have to pay that price anymore. Unless, of course, you want to start taking your grandchildren on holiday and giving your children a rest from the kids and all of those things. But predominantly, I think we have a choice. We have a choice, and it's a big financial thing. Now, for me, holidays have changed. I don't go away for a fortnight, but I can go away for weekends. Now, my weekends have changed. A weekend, I'll give you an example. We met the young people in our family. They flew from Dublin over to Copenhagen. We flew from Wales over to Copenhagen, and we had a weekend together. Now, our weekend was, we flew on a Thursday. They arrived Friday night after work. We had Saturday and Sunday together. They flew back early, really early on a Monday, and had taken half a day off, whereas we flew back on the Tuesday. So a weekend turned to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. A weekend was 5 days. We did the same in Rome. Or we'll go to Rome for a weekend. Rome was 6 days, so it was a 6-day weekend, and we've got that advantage, and they're fantastic advantages to have. But I don't feel guilty about that. I don't feel look at the people working and think, oh, you know, I should feel a little bit guilty. No, I did all the work in my youth as well. We've all worked towards what we've got now. So does guilt come into it? Absolutely blinking not, does it, heck? Now you look out where I live, you're going to see some of the videos from the beach. I live in a place called Gower. It's a gorgeous place. It's got beaches surrounding it. We've got this. Countryside, woodland, everything I need. People come here on holiday. So why do why do I feel the need to go away on holiday? Well, as my grandmother used to always say, a change is as good as a rest. It's nice to see other cultures, it's nice to see other things. Now, I said, I don't go away for a fortnight again. I have never been the type that goes away for 2 weeks and sits on a beach. I just never have done it. It's always got to be something to do while I'm there. And in retirement, that hasn't changed. Now, I don't live in a city. So when I go on holiday now, if I go to Rome, I go to Florence, I go to Paris, I go to Copenhagen or Dublin, I'm going to a city, and people think, why wouldn't you want to go to a city because, going back to what Gran said, a change is as good as a rest. That's how it works for me. So what do all those 5-day weekends and going away when the kids are at school, what does that really mean? Well, I can't tell you what it means to you, but what it means to me is freedom of choice, really. Next week we're going over to Ireland in our camper van. We're going to go over in the ferry. We go by the ferry and the dog can come on to the ferry, which is lovely. We're going for 10 days. The freedom of choice is we could go and then think, oh, do you know what? We'll change the ferry ticket on the way back. We'll stay another week. We'll stay another 2 weeks. We'll stay another month if we wanted to. And that's the freedom of choice that I think that retirement allows you to enjoy. Now, we do have restrictions. We've talked about it in previous videos. We look after specifically a couple of elderly parents. So we do have responsibilities to come back to. But in general, we have freedom. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of your holidays in retirement? Or if you're looking forward to retirement, what do you think your holidays will look like? What are your plans? How do you perceive your weekends? All of those good things. In the meantime, my name is Nick, and this is Still Talking. I'll see you in the next video. Oops-a-daisy, I forgot to tell you what this pile of stones is. It's not a pile of stones, it's a burial chamber. We're at Parc Les Brioches burial chamber, and it was it comes from the Neolithic age, about 1500, 1900 to 3000 years BC, and it was a form of community burial. This whole valley, they found bones from mammoth. There's a cave up there where they've found those bones. So people have been living in this valley for thousands of years now. As you can see, it's a parkland. And when you look around, I'll just show you a little video. When you look around here, it's no wonder they lived here. God, it's gorgeous, absolutely stunning. The woodland's stunning. Maybe that 2,000 years ago, this was totally different. Maybe this was a totally different landscape. Perhaps this was fields and there was no woods, I don't know. But what I do know is it's gorgeous now, and I can fully understand why they lived here. So it's a burial chamber.